Good evening and welcome to the ASUS ROG DreamLeague. We're here live from the Monster Energy DreamHack studios, and we are here with what is the final main qualifier number 4, and that will start off with 2 quarterfinals tonight. Let's take a look at which teams we have in store for you. Our first series of the night is going to be Yellow Submarine, a team making it through to the open qualifiers. And they're going to be facing 4 Clovers and a Leprecon, the team that fell short last week against Basically Unknown in the finals of main qualifier 3. But we invited them back to give them a second chance. And that's our first series for tonight. Our second series will be seeing Vega Squadron. Yesterday, adding Mag and Solo to their lineup definitely makes them a team to watch out for. And they will be facing Game Online, the team that we invited back, with Vega Squadron making it through to the open qualifiers. And of course, with me also, we have once again Andy, Owen, and Shane. Shane, how are you doing tonight?
Really good. I might have been up all night looking at the patch notes. They came out at about 5 a.m. And I was about to go to sleep, and I was like, oh god, they buffed Invoker. And then I completely forgot to download the game, so I got about 10 seconds of playing the test client, just doing the AoE Deafening Blast. I was just going, I don't know how much it'll change it, to be honest.
He was happy like a kid in a candy store. It was actually like he pressed one button. That's all he needed to do, was static.
Super excited. I think it'll just change totally.
So wait, I don't mean to interrupt. I actually have a question about that, because it said maxed out Deafening Blast. Yeah. Does that mean you need all 3 class wax and exort need
level
to be
25.
Or like 23 with low level Invoke.
Okay, okay. I was just curious, because I wonder how they constituted a max level, because it's like the only spell that takes all 3. So
yeah, it's so cool.
Yeah,
it's like
it looks cool.
It looks kind of crazy. Like if you could actually get it off, you just like push.
If you're in the middle of the team fight, that's slightly strong. Let's call it that.
Now you just buy like Shivas and you just blink in and you Shivas defending everybody. Yeah. It's cool.
Tidehunter following afterwards.
Well, you kind of push them out of the Ravage.
Ravage is massive now. You can't miss Ravages anymore. There's no way. Even I hit them, so that says something. Owen, what's your favorite change?
I'm really excited to see what people do with the Morphling Aghanims, because it's one of the Aghanims upgrades that's on a hero that's, you know, stat-based. It's likely that people are going to want to pick it up. Yeah. It's also a hero that we've been seeing, I mean, at least at the moment, in the support or off-lane role, where it's a very powerful hero with very limited items. Get the Soul Ring, you get a Blink Dagger. That's all you need. Throw in a nice Short Scepter if you want to have an extra bit of lockdown and an extra range of chase down. But no, I think we're going to see a lot of big Aghanims Morphling plays, and it's going to be really interesting to see what the pros match that up with and who kind of the strongest kind of people are that they're going to be able to replicate.
Do you think Yules will still be a thing on non-int heroes because of the increased mana cost? Like the mana cost has gone up a bit, hasn't it?
Yeah, but I mean the item also gives you int too, so it's going to cost more mana in the end. And I think for non-int heroes it'll be a bit of a not a struggle, but I think it's also trying to compensate for the fact that Blink Yules was so prominent on so many different heroes that they're like saying, okay, well if we took the Blink mana cost away, then we have to add it back in somewhere else, so heroes can't just buy these 2 items and just be amazing. So I think it's a good change.
What's your favorite change, Andy?
My favorite change? That's a hard one, actually. I think the Alchemist Scepter is entertaining, just because having 7 slot, like I love to farm. Everybody knows that. So now I can just send somebody mid and make them farm me an Aghanims. If I play Tiny, for example, then I can just have like a 7-slot Tiny instead. And I don't have to buy Aghanims anymore. So I think like depending on what kind of team composition you go up and just the heroes changes in general, like 4 times Bounty Room Gold, you know how good that makes him mid? Like it's insane if you get rune control.
If you get the first rune already. Yeah. Like, makes a massive difference.
Do you remember the game where you played Alchemist and tried to get the highest GPM?
Dude, I was so sad.
Oh.
You got more GPM the game before that when you didn't even try, right?
Yeah, because they literally like 5-manned me the whole game. Like I would just go to a lane, I would be farming like 1 creep wave, 5-man smoke gank. I'm like, okay, this is like ridiculous. But I still ended up getting like 13 or 1400 or something like that at the end of the game.
Sorry.
Still pretty decent.
It was okay.
Yeah, my favorite change, Mod Golems. They split into 2. Better yet,
you can make baby dooms.
If you can make baby dooms, that's amazing.
I actually thought it was fake when you showed it to me this morning. I was like, this doesn't look real at all. It doesn't
like couriers.
Yeah, it looks like little courier. It doesn't make any sense. And then apparently it's a legit thing.
Doom babies.
Doom babies.
I like it. Well, for now we're still in this patch, of course. We have a whole main qualifier to go through. Probably halfway though, we will see the patch hit. I'm gonna say either Thursday-ish or Wednesday maybe. Thursday?
Yeah, that's what I'm assuming.
Yeah, Wednesday or Thursday.
Midweek or late.
Maybe Wednesday night at 5 a.m.
Maybe.
Like the.
It's normally on a Thursday night, isn't it? Kind of European time.
That's got to be a nightmare for teams playing in this qualifier. Like, let's be honest. You're going from playing this patch to something that's totally different.
Yeah.
Like totally different.
You can't prepare for that. Like, there's very little ways to prepare for that.
You better get on your test client. That's all I'm saying.
But then also still play this one because they still have to go through the qualifiers. I guess the teams that are actually playing tonight might have a slight up compared to the teams that are playing tomorrow in the qualifiers. Because they have
Maybe.
tomorrow more to practice. I mean, I don't know their roster. Obviously, they might have other officials going on as well, which is probably the case. Still, it's going to be interesting. By the way, considering that we do have the 4th main qualifier right now, we can take a look at the format to see what does the 4th qualifier actually mean. Well, it's very simple, actually. 8 open qualifiers are already behind us. Out of every open qualifier, 2 teams remained and went to the main qualifier, adding 4 open qualifier teams to each main qualifier, where 4 invited teams were also in the main qualifier. And out of each main qualifier, 1 team remains to join the league play, which so far is Virtus Pro, or Virtus Pro Polar, don't know exactly how they want to be called right now. Basically Unknown and Burden United. And 1 team on Friday is also going to be added. And of course they will join Empire, Ninjas in Pajamas, Na'Vi and Alliance. So that's going to be all happening next week, starting on Monday, by the way. So make sure to keep an eye out for that. But yeah, that actually brings us to last week. We had a best of 3. Shane, tell us about this best of 3, please.
It started off okay. The first 4 to 5 minutes of the game were about 4 to 5 minutes long, and then the rest of the game was about 5 hours long. It was pretty ridiculous. I remember we were doing some voice work and some dancing, and it was a pretty long day.
It was a long day. Andy was ill at the time.
The
Do you
only
feel like
reason,
you dodged a bullet there?
well, yeah, of course, but I didn't know it was going to happen. Like, I was like, okay, you know, I'm not feeling well. Take the day off. You know, it's no
one
big deal.
series,
It's
they'll
only
be
1
fine.
series. What could go wrong? Kappa 6-hour best of 3. I was like, okay, now I feel bad.
Yeah, it was a very long best of 3, but despite it being 6 hours, we were able to make you a recap so you can see in a recap, super short, what those series was about.
Yeah, 4.2k gold here on the Storm, and indeed, as you were saying, on top of the Yours and the Bloodstone, there we go, straight in onto Weeha on the Brood. He's been hexed up, and the damage is so much. The BK beam won't save him. 1 more click from the Medusa does find the kill. Supernova coming down in the middle of the fight. Scanner puts the BKB, and with the attacks, will be able to bring down the Phoenix. Hand of God topping them up. Nico Baby's just heading straight into the middle of the fight. He's found himself a double kill. He's going to be able to... No, BZZ will go down to the rest of his team. Yours from Act holding the Medusa in place, but at what cost? Is not actually achieving anything, because they're all dying. 5 heroes down on the side of 4 Clovers. Bulldog, he's just walked into this, and he might pop. He's brought down to half health. Buyback from the Lion, who did get taken down. He's coming back into the fight, but that's your Bulldog down. Cheshire Cat on the high ground, and now with the Broodmother heading up there with the free pathing, that's another big kill. And now they're walking back in. BZZ with the ult, he's thinking about fighting Goldblack's going to get caught up by the Fisher here. Shrapnel getting laid down. They do manage to kill off the sniper, but Goldblack, he will pay with his life. He goes down. Double kill for Mind Control. They also find the Lina there with the ult from the Lycan, but Mind Control is trying to clean up. Telekinesis from Yol, throwing up to the high ground, but it doesn't matter when he's a spider, but he's actually not going to go down as he finds a triple kill here. BZZ will get controlled and held in place. Mind Control going to work. The Fisher's going to help. It's an ultra kill here for your Broodmother. Ho-ho, ha-haring from Nico Baby as he's trying to cut them all out. There's your Echo Slam. Fisher, Dagon. Goodbye, Axe. Goodbye, Lycan. Queen of Pain. You're going to need to get yourself out of there. GG is called, ladies and gentlemen, game.
And with the grand finals of main qualifier number 3 out of the way, it was basically Unknown that made it through to league play. And 4 Clovers and a Leprecon re-invited them to give them a chance to make it through to the finals again this time. Let's take a look at which other teams are in this bracket so we can see what they're up against. Today we have, of course, 4 teams, two qualifiers, quarterfinals rather. 4 Clovers and a Leprecon will be facing up against Yellow Submarine. Afterwards, it's Vega Squadron versus Game Online. And then tomorrow we'll see Aspera, Team Tinker, Chapa, and Hellraisers. And I want to know from you guys, which teams, you can name 2, are you expecting in the finals on Friday?
I want to say 4 Clovers and Leprecon, because if you actually watch that highlight reel, you saw about like 25 different players playing in the team because they had so many problems. Like there was Bulldog, Weeha, a few others studying. Like it was kind of crazy. Like,
Yeah.
But I honestly think if they get their stuff sorted and they play to their strengths, they can easily take this thing.
Also over Tinker?
Yeah, I think so.
Because I said you could name 2.
Yeah, didn't they beat Tinker last week?
I don't think they played each other, or did they play them in the quarterfinals?
I think they did.
They're in
No.
separate halves, weren't they?
Were they in separate halves?
I
Did
think
they?
so.
Okay.
Did they play each other?
I can
I'm
look it
actually
up
not
in my
sure.
notes if you want. I mean,
Yeah, the notes are there for a reason, Sheever.
Yes,
Come on,
okay,
get on it.
okay.
Okay, so I'm kind of inclined to agree with Shane at the Four Clovers. Like, they're probably going to make it pretty far. I would also say Team Tinker are kind of the go-to. But the team that I want to see do well, actually, is Vega, because I think with the addition of Solo, and who else did they add?
Mag.
Yeah, okay. So,
yeah, Team Tinker got knocked out by 4 Clovers.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So I think Vega or Game Online actually could also be contenders to make it all the way through. I mean, this is probably the only open qualifier so far that's like, I don't actually know who's going to win. You know, like most of the teams, there's only like one team on either side of the bracket who's considered like tier 1 or tier 2 that could just take it all the way, like very easily. And at the start, it kind of makes it like a self-fulfilling prophecy. But for this qualifier, there's actually like 4 or 5 teams who could actually win. So
Yeah,
makes it more
especially
exciting.
with the patch. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
who knows what will really happen. I do want to say, though, Team Tinker, the Team Tinker that we saw last week felt very different than the Team Tinker that we saw at Star Ladder. I mean, they were way better at Star Ladder.
Yeah, they
I'm just
were.
going to say it like that because they just looked well organized. They beat Team Malaysia, which is I thought was a pretty big achievement, actually.
I'm looking forward to Game Online as well. I was talking to Excalibur yesterday, and he said they switched up roles, and they put
Okay.
Excalibur into carry. And
Okay.
I can't pronounce the carries player.
I can.
Yep.
Vroksnak?
Vroksnak. Yeah.
Vroksnak.
Yeah, they moved him to mid, I think. So
Okay.
maybe a bit of change. It could be good. He seems quite confident now. So
Okay, but you said 4 Clovers and
Yeah,
Leprecon
yeah,
was going to
but
take it all?
my mind says 4 Clovers.
Okay.
But
Which is second team? Like which 2 teams in the finals? Now we're at it anyways. You saw the bracket, so you
okay,
know.
so Game Online can't be in the finals. If can they not?
Yeah, they can.
Okay, they can.
No, they can't.
No.
No, they can't.
Throw me off. Yeah, I'd say Team
It's
Tinker
either-
and 4 Clovers and
Okay,
Leprecon are
yeah.
definitely probably going to be in the finals.
You agree, Owen?
Definitely,
Yeah,
probably.
it's going to be
Definitely
Tinker and
Yeah.
4 Clovers in the
Yeah?
final. Pretty sure. Yeah, and I think 4
What
Clovers will take
I
it.
have to say though, Vega Squadron, they look pretty strong. They faced Ninjas in Pajamas yesterday. It was the best of 3. They were able to take a game off of that. And to be honest, I didn't watch the whole game, but apparently the third game, which they lost, shouldn't have been a loss. Like, that was a bit of.
But is that a good thing
It's
or
a
a bad
bad
thing?
thing.
That's
Is
a-
that-
Yeah, if they
It's a
get
bad
against
thing,
that
but
place and then they
if
can't
they
win it,
shape up a
it's-
little bit, I mean,
not
they
good.
could get this.
It's better to
That was the
nearly
first
win
day.
a lost game than lose a 1 game.
True, but it was, I mean, they only played together yesterday for the first time with Solo and Mag in there. So
Okay.
give them a bit of, starting time.
The honeymoon period.
The
It could-
one
it could
day.
happen.
No, they startup period. It's fine.
Okay. Is,
I
one,
think
is one
actually-
day enough?
That's 2 days, yesterday and today, because we see them
One
tomorrow.
full day.
We see them today. We see them today. They don't have a lot of time.
No.
Scary. No, I actually think like they're going to be facing Game Online today. And I actually think that's going to be such an interesting series to watch, especially since we saw Game Online last week and they came up with these innovative, at least for me at that point, because I wasn't expecting it, innovative thing with the Morphling stun, of course, with the combinations that they did with it. I'm really looking forward to seeing them up against Vega Squadron. I think that's going to be, not to downhype the first series of the match, but I think that's going to be my favorite series of probably the entire quarterfinals round,
Okay.
I think.
You didn't say though. Who do you think is going to be in the finals?
I think it's going to be, well, because the downside is 4 Clovers and a Leprecon cannot be in the finals with Vega because they're in the same bracket. So I still will also say Team Tinker and 4 Clovers and a Leprechaun.
You were so
bandwagon is
hesitant
real.
about that. You can
I
just say something
know.
else. You don't have to bandwagon.
No, but
Sheever.
it's like it's so difficult because if Tinker is playing like they did last week, they're not going to be making it. They're going to be losing to Hellraisers in the semifinals, in my opinion.
Well, they did have the LAN experience. That has to help.
Yeah, I think that definitely helps. I don't know how tired they might or might not be. I mean, obviously, they were just at a LAN. You don't know their health issues. Some people get more ill from LANs than other people.
They're looking straight at me. Like,
Yeah. Shane just always
Andy
gets
do.
like the bubonic plague.
yeah, it's pretty bad.
No, but the same thing goes for players, of course. I mean, people's immune systems are differently. So I don't know how much impact that will have. I think that will be pretty tricky to see.
Yeah, I wonder if they're going back to boot camp as well, actually, or did they go to their homes?
This is a good question.
Yeah, I wonder.
It depends. I mean, I'm going to assume that they will get an invite to the qualifiers for TI. Would you not, as a team, want to still boot camp for the qualifiers of TI?
It's a long time. You might start getting
when
sick
you
of
have
each other.
a bit of a
Especially,
break before you kick
Yeah.
off the TI boot camping. I don't know, at least if you're Team Tinker.
I think
Well,
so.
Team Tinker, I mean, there's a whole controversy with Team Tinker boot camping in USA. So if
Yeah.
they want to continue the USA team stigma, then they go back to US with all of their team. There's no doubt about that.
Because of the qualifiers, they want to be recognized as an American team, is what you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they have like Team House there or something like that.
I don't know how the invites work. So
Me neither. If only we knew.
Nobody really knows.
Nobody knows.
really knows.
they just have this like weird board where they spin a bottle to see who gets invited.
They just played darts.
Darts.
I was like, how are we going to do invites this year? Punk.
Tinker.
All right. Yeah, okay. You can be an American team. It's fine.
Okay. Well, I'm curious. Today's series. What's your expectations in terms of score, Andy? I mean, first it's going to be, of course, Yellow Submarine for Clovers.
Yeah, that's a 2-0, in my opinion.
Okay.
An easy 2-0.
A Vega game online.
That one's tough. I would probably say 2-1 game online, but that's only because I haven't seen Vega play.
Okay.
Because I don't know what they're going to bring with their new roster. Now,
Fair
you said
enough.
they played against NIP, and they did fairly well. So that makes me think that it could potentially be a 2-1 for Vega just as easily. But that one I'm like really torn on. Like, I don't know who's actually going to win. I'd probably say game online just because I'm always biased towards the teams that I've actually seen them play.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Owen, do you agree?
Yeah, definitely with the first game, 2-0 to 4 Clovers. I mean, it's always nice to see the underdogs perform, so I'm hoping to be kind of, surprised by the result. But with the second series, I think, yeah, as you said, both teams in a similar kind of place, obviously with the fact that game online, they're switching around positions, so they're trying something different.
Yep.
And of course, with Vega, with the newish couple of additions, so it's going to be really hard to call because there's not really a lot that we can go by from, looking back at recent games due to these changes. But I think probably overall game online, I'd say we'll take that 2-1.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm a bit surprised by that because I would have said
think
Vega.
I think Mag is like an amazing player
Yeah.
to get into your roster. He's like huge on the
Oh,
offense.
I'm not saying they're bad players. I'm just saying,
I'm saying like they're going to bring so much experience that Game Online have shown that they're kind of maybe lacking in some games. So I think it'd be a surprise if Vega didn't win 2-0, in my opinion.
you really think 2-0?
Yeah.
2-0
Okay.
even.
Yeah.
Well, at least we have some controversy on the couch for once. Usually it's all like we all think the same thing.
But you
and
just
then we're all wrong.
No.
You spoke to
Yeah, but I like Game Online and I want them to do well,
Okay.
but I don't think they will.
Fair enough.
It's
It's the harsh truth.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah, tough love. It's possible. I actually think, I'm thinking 2-1 still for Vega because, I mean, they just look so strong. And Game Online, yes, they did really good stuff last week, but I still think that Vega is going to be a little bit stronger. We can actually take a closer look to Vega Squadron's statistics. Now, keep in mind they are slightly colored towards their previous lineup, so you can't really expect too much Mag Hero band out, if you will. What's the thing that jumps out the most for you, Shane?
Win-losses this season, not available. So they're a new team,
Yes.
and they haven't had much experience, is what jumps out the most to me.
Well, I think this season means mostly for the DreamLeague itself. And this is their first
Really?
game. They made it through to the Open
Okay.
Qualifier. This is their first and last chance.
I honestly think, though, that like I've watched Mag loads of times in the past, and every time he always impresses
Yeah.
me. So I think if they get his initiator offlaner, like I've seen, like Brewmaster, Centaur kind of stuff, even though they're not picked up that much anymore, I
No.
still think it could be kind of
And Magnus.
Magnus.
I think
Yeah.
Centaur is one of those heroes that's always been good.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just like people forget about him every once in a while, and then
Yeah.
they're like, "Oh wait, we have Mag in our team. Why don't we just pick it every single game?"
Do you feel like people are or rather Mag is going to be really happy with the Aghanims upgrade of Centaur?
I think
mean, I guess so.
everyone is. Like the
Everybody
whole
that
team?
plays Centaur, yeah.
What is it? 70% reduction on his damage?
70%
70%
damage reduction on your
What?
team, and you can run through
I think-
everything.
Is the damage reduction on your team or just on yourself?
It's on everyone.
It's on everybody because
Everyone on
it's
your team.
Stampede.
What?
Like on everybody.
It's like actually so unbelievably good. And the thing about Centaur is like you only need to build tanky.
Yeah.
You don't need to make anything else. So unlike some heroes like Weaver that they're going to be putting in the Aghanims where you would build it and be like, okay, well, I'm actually sacrificing something to make this item.
Yeah.
Centaur is just like, yo, I get a ton of HP from this. I get some mana. My int gain is terrible.
I already
It's just
got a blink.
all around good item for him anyway.
Yeah.
So on top of that, getting an Aghanim buff that gives you 70, yeah, okay,
Whatever. Look.
whatever. Yeah,
Like
it's whatever.
Imagine, I'm getting ganked, guys, by a Lina with Laguna Blade Aghanims. It's fine. I'll just press my center. You don't even have to move. You just take 70% of
But
damage.
you can move.
You can very quickly anywhere you want.
This team is very difficult to go high ground up against. You just all stand on the side. You run up the hill.
Sneak
You
up
run up
the side,
run
like-
up the wall.
It's ridiculous.
Can come out from everywhere. It's going to be a fun, gimmicky-ish kind of ultimate.
I think it's probably the most powerful thing in the Aghanim Scepter in the patch. Like I honestly think so, in my opinion.
Vision is also going to be way more important. And we actually talked a lot about Vision last week in terms of the heroes that we have right now. We see a lot of Night Stalker, we see a lot of Zeus, a lot of heroes with global ultimates. That's going to be even more important after the patch, but still very important this patch, I think. How important do you reckon the Zeus is for the first series here?
Well, 4 Clovers.
Four Clovers
played it.
plays Hani Zeus.
It's
That's
amazing.
what I'm
Yeah.
going at?
Well, every team can play Zeus. I mean, the hero, the way that you play it is not necessarily very high skill cap. I mean, you sit there and you zap creeps in the laning phase, and then you continue zapping things until the game is over.
Yeah.
So it's a hero that is very easy to run, and it's also free dewarding. And like you said, vision is always very important, especially during the late game. You can catch out a smoke gank or something like that just by randomly popping your ult. If you get good farm, your damage scaling is probably some of the best of any hero, even as a non-carry, I guess, if you want to call it that. But yeah, I think he's fantastic. And also being able to stop blinks. Ever since they buffed the static field range by 300, it's just been like, good luck ever blinking against that hero. It's actually insanely frustrating.
Yeah, well, with that said, I'm actually going to kick the casters off the couch as I normally do. And it is time for our weekly guest. And with us on the couch, our guest for this entire week, you're going to see him all 4 days here for main qualifier number 4. It is Slasher. Slasher, how are you doing?
Hello, I'm doing good.
Just arrived in Stockholm yesterday.
Yep, I have, and also read the patch like kinda early in the morning.
I heard you didn't bring a laptop, so like that's pretty much all you could do.
I sat on my iPhone with this very little screen and just tried to scroll through it. It was awful, but I managed it.
That's pretty impressive. And of course, I mean, I think most people will know you, but just for the people that might not, could you give us a short introduction of yourself?
I'm a former competitive Dota 1 player. So I have, for example, played with Hani, who's playing now. And right now I'm doing some guides in Dota 2. Almost all of them serious.
Almost.
Trying to work with some heroes that are not used that much in the meta. And then trying to do some like 5 minutes videos where I say, you should probably consider doing this and this.
I have to say, I'm a big fan of the Silencer one. That's the one I like the most.
Yeah, that's actually, credit goes to my friend actually. He was just like a 4.5K player. Ihufa.
Good lad.
Yeah, he told me, I thought it was the most stupid thing I heard like in a month or so. And then I tried it, and it was just like, it was amazing.
It just works so well.
Yeah,
you just kill everyone.
Can you explain to people what
yeah, so it's basically, you get threats, and then you get Shadowblade, and you are able to get that like, you should be able to get that like in 10 minutes. And when you have threats and Shadowblade, you can just go and gank people, and then you go a quick hex, and when you have a hex as well, then just, like you can even take out the main carry with just Shadowblade in and then hex. And then you also get like a lot of intelligence, and also Shadowblade, it just makes you come in the perfect position for a team fight, and then you just like, you go out of Shadowblade and people are like, hey, silencer, and then you just global silence, and then you have like perfect team fight. So, and it's even better in the new patch in 6.84, because right now it used to be you have threats, Shadowblade, and then hex, and that's like perfect items, and then you're like, well, what do I get now? And I told to get like assault curse, and that's pretty good. But now with the new, what's it, Moonshine? Or what's
Moonshard?
Moonshard, like
yeah.
120 extra attack speed, like that's just perfect for Silencer. That's perfect for my friend. Like that item was made for him. He used to like go Warlock and then go Shadowblade and then like 4 Hyperstones. And he just kept buying Hyperstones. Like, dude, you gotta stop buying Hyperstones. He's like, no, Hyperstone is the best thing. So, yeah.
He's gonna consume that item every game chance he gets and keep one in his inventory.
I'm pretty sure. He's hyped.
That's pretty good. So what do you do when you're not making YouTube videos?
So I mostly play Dota, and then I'm also a student. So my main is philosophy, and then I'm also studying English at the moment. So.
Okay, you have to maybe move your microphone a little bit closer to your mouth. It's falling,
it's falling off.
Falling off.
Hopefully it should be better now.
Grand.
What's the plan for you for continuing going forward? How much do you want to do in Dota?
I want to keep on making the guides.
Yeah.
And I also tried casting some.
Okay.
I've casted some with Rusts, and hopefully they will improve the. So right now it's kind of difficult. You can't really see your co-caster's camera.
Yeah.
You can see it on the minimap.
You can see it on the minimap.
You can see it on the minimap. But I would really like to, like when I'm co-casting with someone else, I can just like hands off keyboard and just watch what he's doing. And I actually talked to one at Valve, and he said that, well, that's a pretty good idea. So hopefully,
where you can hook on your camera to the
camera to someone else, and you can just sit back and
So just for sheer laziness.
Yeah, also because like if you have what's it called? Stuff with your hands. That's you have to pay a price to get knowledge of Dota. It's like
What? I have extreme pain in my wrist sometimes, and I'm terrible at Dota. So I'm just saying.
Yeah, but like I wrist and then pretty much all the muscles in my but it's just like, yeah. That was the reason I stopped competitive Dota pretty much like 8 years ago. But,
Okay.
you know, when you first start Dota, it's like you can't quit, so you gotta keep on.
We've been there.
Yeah.
For sure. So today we're going to see, like you already mentioned, your former teammate, Hani, in Four Clovers and Leprecon. Are they instantly also your favorite team to follow this qualifier?
Yeah, pretty much. At least, well, I'm pretty sure they will win the first series.
Okay, Yellow Submarine.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if they will take the whole thing because Team Tinker is also extremely strong, and we also have Hell Racers and Game Online. So there's a lot of good teams. I'm excited to see the matches.
Okay, which is your favorite for the two teams in the finals? I know like everybody was unanimously saying Four Clovers and Leprecon and Team Tinker. Are you going to join the bandwagon?
Well, I don't know. I guess they're the favorites, but I wouldn't say they're like big favorites.
Okay.
As one of you also mentioned, there are a lot of good teams now, so it's in no way obvious who are going to be the...
Especially with Hellraisers as well, they can always upset anything.
Although last time we saw them, we had them before in a qualifier, they didn't do very well.
Okay.
They actually did really bad. But then again, that was a day where everybody upset the other team. So
I was kind of surprised that you guys invited people who were already lost in the qualifiers. Then you re-invited them, but...
they get a second chance.
Yeah, I guess also when you have the DDoS issues, then it's,
Yeah.
Yeah, the last qualifier was so sad. The last final, I was actually so upset with that.
Yeah, Four Clovers and Leprecon could have taken it perhaps, but we will never know.
Yeah.
Like they might not have, obviously, still, but because they had to swap around so many players, they didn't have a same fair chance as other teams gotten, in which case basically unknown, which hopefully this week not going to happen. So we'll see. But you're saying Four Clovers and Leprecon is going to take this series then? Like against Yellow Submarine?
Yeah.
Is it a 2-0 then as well?
Yeah, that's probably a 2-0, maybe 2-1, but I would be very surprised if Yellow Submarines actually took the series.
Okay, well then that pre-match analysis is kind of already over very fast. So I want to ask for you, what's your favorite change in the patch?
Well, I guess the negative things. So Troll nerf, that's great, and Sniper nerf also great, and also a reduction of the whole rubber band thing. I'm not sure how it exactly works. I have to play it before.
Yeah.
And also the new thing where I'm not sure if it's like when you're the top leader, then you will only give like 20 or 25% more. I'm not sure how it works.
I'm really not great with math.
But at least they reduce the rubber band changes, and then the creeps give less gold at the moment. And
Ancient gets less gold.
Every creep.
Like just farming is less effective.
Okay, so the neutrals also get less gold.
Ancients, and so it's basically like more aggression, more action.
Yeah, well, I saw that. It's either people go for full Midases or they go for fighting. Which do you think they'll do? Maybe at first it's different than what it ends up to be.
Oh, definitely. The first week will be crazy. Like people will be doing all sorts of stuff. Like, because I remember when Tuskar got buffed. He was just like in every game, and no one knew what to do with him. It's like we have a Tuskar, but now what do we do?
Yeah.
But I think there will be like chaos for about a week or two, and then it'll kind of settle down.
Like no one knows this patch, and the complexity of Dota is just getting greater and greater. And I'm glad I already know a lot about it, and that I don't have to like start completely with the game. But in a way, that's also like that can be really a great challenge. Like it can be great to just dive into and just.
Also, though, as well, when you play Dota for such a long time, you're kind of used to things, and then when things change, it'll take you a while to kind of, that's still like that or something like that. You know what I mean? It'll kind of surprise you.
I have to punish my arm a lot now with play, but that should be okay.
Who's the next sniper, though? You say Sniper and Troll nerfed. Who's going to be their replacements?
So we already see in the Bucharest tournament, we saw the Phantom Lancer actually started getting picked up a lot.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure he has not been touched in the patch
Not at all. Yeah.
So he, of course, he will have a bit harder time farming now, but I think he will become at least a pretty stable hero. And I think the buffs on Husker, they were not needed at all. He's already a really strong hero, and at least if he keeps getting buffed, we're probably gonna see like what happened to Sniper, where he just keeps getting buffed or changed, and then suddenly people are like, this hero is
he's
great.
slightly broken, perhaps.
This guy,
I actually, when the new changes came, pretty much everyone said like, well, that's not that good, and even I also did a patch analysis, and it was like, well, I don't know, I'm not sure if that's that great.
That for the sniper, this
Yeah,
thing.
for the sniper. But he actually told me like a few days after the patch that if I play sniper, I will be higher MMR than my Meepo. And I didn't believe him. I was like, what are you talking about? But he was actually right.
He was. There were some people that did not believe that sniper would be top pick.
And now we
Ever.
have
Ever in Dota.
It's great.
It's ridiculous.
Is it great though? Probably gonna see a bit of sniper today as well. Perhaps.
Probably.
Well, I have to say, you watched Starladder this weekend.
Yeah.
Sniper obviously had a really high win rate. Apart from when the finals happened, he lost almost every single game.
Yeah, I would actually say that I'm already becoming nostalgic.
Already now, yeah.
For 6.83 because Starladder was like we had some games with sniper in it that was just horrible and it just 1.5 hours or something like that.
Yeah.
It was just way too long but we also had some really great games where it's just I guess most of those games were actually where sniper was winning and he could just push because he's also he's very excellent defender and also very good pusher because he can just stay 800 range away from tower and just go ho ho ha ha and just bring down the tower. But yeah, it was a great tournament and we're gonna see what the 6.84.
Do you think that was something to do like almost with the patch? Like people were like, okay, this is the end. Let's try out a few more things. Like, you know, being a bit more kind of free in their picks because of that. Like, cause about a month ago, like it wasn't nearly as impressive.
I think the thing is that like every tournament kind of creates its own like mini meta. And it's also one of the best ways to evolve the meta is just have a tournament, and there's just so many games and such a high quality of the games that people they start really
they're innovating,
getting to know each other.
Yeah.
And that's why it's also so cool to just see like a mini tournament because you get to see these pros just learn
from each other.
Yeah, from each other, learn during the game. So.
I love seeing that at the DAC as well. It's why there's a lot of stats, like a lot of statistics don't count per patch, but there's, for example, what Knoxville and Scansor do. They do post-DAC stats because they're so different from pre-DAC because the meta game basically changed. In which case, Starladder would also be like the end of an era, which is correct. By the way, for people wondering, we are slightly behind on schedule, or at least a game should have started right now, but it hasn't because we're waiting for the last player. And indeed, I have a bunch of boxes next to me. What's that? Well, I have a load of boxes, actually. 5, 4... I'm going to count 4 boxes. I'm going to give one to Shane. We're going to give one to Shane each day. And you have to be very careful. Shane, these are the actual boxes that people can win.
So will I write something on them?
I don't think, only if the winner wants you to write something on them.
We won't know until they win.
You don't know until they win. Well, that's a headset. There's also a keyboard, a mouse, and a mouse pad. And you can win these if you go to facebook.com/ROG Nordic. And if you go there, you choose your hero of the week of qualifiers. So
it's actually,
what's your favorite, most impactful hero? Has to be specific for this qualifier. And then on Friday, Slasher, we're going to ask you on Friday.
Yes.
Which hero for this week's qualifier is the most MVP hero of the week, or your favorite? It has to be favorite for you.
Sure.
Your favorite.
Yeah, last
MVP.
week we had Earthshaker, and it was pretty much every game that people picked Earthshaker. It made
Earthshaker
such
really
a ridiculous impact. Like,
and the only support hero to get a rampage at some point.
and godlike as well. Yeah, it was insanity.
You're missing a.
Let's see how that's gonna work if we get a new patch like Wednesday or Thursday. And it's like, oh, okay.
Oh, we're leaving it up to you. So each day we'll unpack one so that we can show you what it looks like. But for now, that's the headset.
See the angle? I even turned it to an angle so the camera could see it well.
Brilliant.
I'm pretty good at this marketing.
I don't block it. It's cool. No, but you can win those. So make sure you go to facebook.com/ROG Nordic, and who knows, maybe you're lucky. I hope that Slasher's not bribable. I mean, I heard that right now he does not have access to a laptop.
Yeah, I have an iPhone. Well, I've been called like a sellout with my Slasher's Way Wide and stuff, but like every time you do something, you always get some haters. So, I'll try to be fair.
What's your most successful Slasher's Way, you'd say?
I guess the silencer in way of views, but I guess in way of like subscribers I got, that would be the Wind Ranger one, because
really?
pretty sure Pycat was like, thanks Slasher, after a Wind Ranger game I woke up and like my Twitter and YouTube just exploded, and
Oh, sweet.
then we had this big YouTube channel that also did like a feature of it. So that was pretty cool to see it actually. See one of my guides actually get used into competitive before.
What was your first one?
My first one ever? That was Nature's Prophet. I did a Nature's Prophet where I pretty much rush Desolator and kind of make him try to be very, very active and snipe the courier and stuff like that. And you can even do Roshan solo. The problem is that, at least in 6.83, Nature's Prophet is almost at the level of Alchemist, where he's just like this piñata.
Yeah,
He's just
just
walking
this
around and you get to poke him and it just blows up a lot of gold and like, very nice. So, but hopefully in 6.84, I think he's going to be a better hero. And I haven't tried the new Aghanim's changes. But
Spawns
they seem
treants
fun.
everywhere.
That sounds hilarious.
That sounds pretty fun. It actually does. We have, however, been able to start the game. Everybody is in. We know all predictions. It's actually pretty boring. I mean, I haven't predicted anything yet, but...
Okay, I'm going to change my prediction. Yellow
Good.
Submarine are going to win 2-0. It's going to be crazy.
You are brave,
just
man.
saying that.
Very brave. I am just saying it, but honestly, I really want a team that isn't known to come into DreamLeague and do well.
Yeah.
But whether it's Yellow
We
Submarine...
had a 4 ASC last season.
Yeah, we did, and that was awesome. And
Yeah.
we got to meet like Matumba Man and all the guys in the cast with us, and like we got to know new personalities and
Yeah.
players. And I want that to happen again in this DreamLeague. So
Fair enough. I like your motivation for it, your argument. I'm still going to say 2 for clubs and Leprecon.
heartless.
Sorry. But with that, actually, let's throw it over to our casters. It's Odie, Pixel, and Draskell for our first series, first quarterfinals for main qualifier number 4. That's all mouthful. Let's go over to the casters.